welcome to the Porch broadcast. Well, we want to talk about something that has been on my mind, and I'm not going to approach this thing as if I've got the answers to it. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. And as I ask these questions, maybe some of you guys will give some answers or at least some input in the comments to help me understand some of the things I'm saying. So, what we're going to be doing is we'll be talking about the ICE situation that we have, ICE arresting people and that sort of thing. We'll be talking about three things, and I want you to, if you will, listen all the way to the end, because I want to talk about this ICE agent that was pushing this woman up against the wall and pushed her down on the floor. I want to talk a little bit about that. Now, I'm not trying to get negative in this thing, but we really ought to be thinking about this stuff. That's one of the things we're going to talk about right at the end of this. But I want to talk about people going and getting in front of ICE vehicles and trying to stop them. And then I want to talk about people cussing and screaming and yelling and throwing rocks at the ICE agents and things like that. And I'm going to ask some questions through here because this is, to me, concerning. I want to know what the heck's happening here, what's going on. And maybe some of you guys got some thoughts on that, and I'd like to hear from you if you do. Let me do this before I get started. If you like this video at the end of it and you'd like to subscribe, we'd like to have you on our community. And if you like the video, just hit like and comment and hit that bell icon, and you'll get notified as we put these videos out. So let's just go ahead and get started. Now, one of the things that I wanted to start out with was I was watching people stand in front of an ICE vehicle the other day on a YouTube video. And I'm a student of human nature, so I try to understand why people do what they do. So these guys were in front of a vehicle that probably weighed 4,000 pounds, and they were putting their hands on the hood and pushing this thing back. And then they'd have somebody behind them with their hands on their butt, pushing their butt. And they were fighting for position, pushing each other around so they could get a position on the hood of that car where they could push on it. Now, I'm a guy that just simplifies things. But if you got 8 or 10 people out there, and in this case there were a lot more than that, but if you got 8 or 10 people out there, and that's about all that get around a car very well, and they're pushing on a 4,000 pound vehicle, just exactly what is the outcome you're looking for there? Because you can't stop that vehicle. It's 4,000 pounds. That person driving it, all he has to do is push that throttle a little bit and you're done. And of course, ICE agents obviously were not trying to hurt anybody, so they weren't pushing that thing very hard. They were just going slow, and I'd say they were pushing these people out of the way with that car, but these people were basically just with their hands on the hood of the car. They weren't really pushing because that wouldn't even make sense. You can't stop that car. But here's an interesting thing that I seen was the look on their faces as they were trying to get around there and get a position to push on the hood of that car was almost like zombies, almost like they didn't have rational thought. And if you're walking out in front of a 4,000 pound car expecting to stop it, that isn't very rational, is it? Let me ask you guys this. If you own 4 or 5 businesses and maybe a manager left one of your businesses and you were going to hire a manager to manage that business, and you were watching YouTube and seen this video, and a guy that come and applied was one of those guys pushing on the front of that 4,000 pound car, and you recognized him when he came in for his interview, would you hire that guy? No, you probably wouldn't. And let's talk about why you probably wouldn't. And this is just speculation on my part, but let's just talk about this just for fun. If I want somebody to manage a business for me, I want somebody that makes rational decisions. I want somebody that looks at the situation and finds the place to where when he takes action, that action will actually accomplish something. And in this case, if you were looking at that guy, you'd say this guy's not rational. He doesn't understand assessing and reasoning things out. He just acts out of emotion. And this is kind of what I see. Now, if you disagree, just, put in a comment you disagree. But, if you're going to put that in a comment, let me ask you to do this. Put in at least a short reason why you think you disagree or why you disagree. Give me something to think about. So anyway, would you hire this guy? Well, I've ran businesses all my life. I started managing businesses when I was 19 years old. Been doing it for a lot of years. I wouldn't even consider this guy. He wouldn't be a consideration because he doesn't have the ability to be rational and assess something and ask himself if his actions are going to accomplish anything. Well, just say you were going to interview a babysitter and you've seen one of these women, and I guess a man could be a babysitter, but let's just do it from the woman's side for fun. And you've seen one of these women out there on that YouTube doing that. Would you trust this person with your kids? An irrational person out there trying to stop a 4,000-pound car with her body. Would you trust this person with your kids? I'm just trying to get us to think, guys. That's all I'm trying to do. So let's shift gears from that. That left us some questions. Let's shift gears and go to something else. I was watching another video, and there was some people at a gate of an ice facility, and they were just standing there using the F word, cussing the ICE agents, screaming obscenities and all kinds of things at them, calling them Nazis and everything else. If you were going to hire a manager, is this the guy you'd want to manage your business? No, I'm sure it wouldn't be. But let's go a step further. When you decide to cuss somebody and call them names, and this is your mode of operation to solve a problem and make the world a better place to live, is that rational? I mean, think about it just a minute. If you walked up to somebody that you wanted to solve a problem with or work with and get something done that would better the world or better the community you're in, and you just started calling them Nazi and SOB and everything else, do you think that's a rational way to really get that person on board with you so that you can work out and solve that problem? No. Would you hire this guy to run one of your business? Would you hire this guy to take care of your kids when he got emotionally high, or a woman, either one, and all they could do was cuss and rant and rave and scream and spit and do all kinds of what I consider insanity? Would you hire this person? Do you think this is the way to solve problems? If you do, leave it in the comments. If you don't, leave that in the comments too. It'd be nice to hear from you. Let's shift gears. We've talked about the people that are opposing ICE. I think they're doing it wrong, but that's no man's opinion, okay? If you've got an opinion, leave it in the comments. But let's do this right here. Let's talk about this ICE agent. And I don't have any of these videos or anything. I don't even know how to download that stuff. My wife will show me one of these days maybe, but most of you probably, if you watch this stuff, know it. An ICE agent goes into a place, and from my understanding, and this is just my understanding, I don't know how true any of this is, but I did see the video. This woman was trying to defend her husband that they were about to arrest. I can kind of understand that. Is it right? If he broke the law, he broke the law. But you'd want to defend your husband or your wife. And my understanding was she was kind of defending him, trying to make a difference there. And this ICE agent slammed her up against the wall and then slammed her down on the floor. Now, I'm for law and order, okay? And I'm not against ICE agents. I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm saying. But I am not for abusing people, women in particular. Now you may say, but Paul, they resist or they did this, did that. I understand, and I understand sometimes you have to get rough with people when they're foolish. I'm not judging this matter that I seen. I'm just trying to get us to think. It looked like that ICE agent was just a little bit overzealous on the way he handled this lady. Now I come from old school stuff. You just don't handle women that way. You just don't do it. Excuse me, guys. Trying to have a little coffee while we do this. The world I come from, you don't do that. If you have a problem with a lady and she's in your way, you gently move her. If you have to touch her at all, it'd be better if you didn't do that. And I know some of these women can even be dangerous, but it just didn't look that way to me. So I'll tell you, I don't want to see people abusing ICE agents. But here's the thing, I don't see ICE agents abusing people. I felt like that was a little bit over, no, not a little bit over the top, but way over the top. I don't think that woman should have been treated that way. Now, I'm trying to be careful here because I don't know what the whole story is there. But just from what I seen, that ICE agent could have handled that a whole lot better. And if he has the mentality that he thinks that's the way to handle women and problems, and he did that the way I think it happened, he don't need to be out there on the streets. Now, let me close up with this, guys. I'm not taking this side or that side as far as people are concerned, but as far as right and wrong is concerned, I am taking a side. I want us to do what's right. If you abuse those ICE agents, throw rocks at them, threaten to hurt them, bomb rush them, and things like that, they're people and they want to go home to their families. So they're going to do whatever they have to survive that. And in the process, people get hurt. And here's the thing, guys, just understand this. If you're out there trying to stop an ICE agent from doing his job, you're probably going to slow him down, but you ain't going to stop him because he's got to do his job. And what will happen if you get in there and start doing this mess we've described is somebody eventually gets hurt and you don't solve a problem. Two things: somebody gets hurt and you haven't solved the problem. Okay, what do you do if you disagree with what they're doing? You operate within the laws and boundaries of the United States of America because that's where you're at. And you go to the ballot box and you vote in people that if you don't like the laws, they'll help change those laws. That's the way we do it here. We don't go out on the street and try to harm ICE agents or provoke them into harming other people. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say any more about that, guys. I hate seeing this. We here at Porch love people. We want a country that helps people, blesses people. People are prosperous and happy and have good families. That's what we want to say. So having said that, guys, I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope it helped. We do love you guys, and we want the best for you. May God bless. You guys have a good day.